Hi everybody, it's me again, and today on Mystery and Makeup, we are going to be talking about Makenzie Shirilla. Shirilla was a 19-year-old girl from Strongsville, Ohio. Makenzie was known for being a mean girl. Other kids pretty much said, like, you don't mess with Makenzie. If you do something Makenzie doesn't like, she is known to make your life a living hell. Also, Makenzie was known for always keeping up on all the fashion trends, the TikTok just being a popular girly, basically, to sum it up. And the thing she was most known for was dating a 20-year-old graduate named Dominic Russo. Also had his own recording studio, I believe, and just overall was doing really good. He had his own house, he had money, pretty much every girl's dream. A lot of people said that because Dominic had all these assets, that Makenzie was just like utterly obsessed with him. Like, always wanted to be at his house, always wanted to be where he was, like, wanted to know his every move, always wanted to be taken shopping, like, just pretty much taking full advantage of her situation. She knew he had it, so she was going to get it. And if she didn't get it, she was going to make his life a living hell. Pretty much everybody just knew really not to F with Makenzie. And not very many people enjoyed being around her or hanging out with her. And that caused problems for Dominic. So, as said by some of Dominic's family, he just pretty much could not breathe without Makenzie. And his family started to notice that he was getting very unhappy. Like, his heart was just not in the relationship anymore. But as I stated once before, Makenzie was not one to let go, and she wasn't letting go of Dominic under any circumstances, obviously. This is where things start to take a turn, so listen, because this is an important factor later on in the story. Dominic actually breaks up with Makenzie at one point and tells her, I don't want you at my house anymore, I'll drop off your things, we are done. And Makenzie didn't like this too well. So she calls Dominic and he puts her on speaker in front of him, irate at this point that he does not want to be with her. Whole time she's not knowing that she is on speakerphone and his family is recording.
Exactly what I mean. It doesn't. You don't know exactly what I mean. You're gonna come open this door right now, or there's gonna be a serious problem.
Her foundation looks. She eats. So back to my story. So Dominic proceeds to take Makenzie back, capable of, or what she's at least said to him on the phone. Okay, but everybody knows now at this point that she's a nutcase. Time goes by, everybody thinks that everything is going well between Dominic and Makenzie, and that everything just calmed down and that they are back to normal living their life. But behind closed doors, Dominic is very unhappy and really is just trying to get away from Makenzie. Also, it got to the point where he started to feel super unsafe, so he always had a friend around. Fast forward to Halloween of 2022. Dominic decides to take Makenzie out around some of his friends, just basically trying to show his friends that she's changed and that start of things. The friends really still didn't want to accept Makenzie, but they did. So they let them chill for a few hours, and and ultimately ended up falling asleep. Makenzie ends up getting a text from some of her friends that were hosting another party. Listen to these details because these are very important later on in the video. So she wakes Dominic and his friend up, and they end up saying, yeah, we can go ahead and go to the other party. This one's kind of dead. Okay, so they go ahead and leave and head to Mackenzie's friend's party. They get to Mackenzie's friend's party and just start to smoke and drink a little bit. Typical for teenagers. And they end up staying so long that they end up falling asleep. For a little bit there. They all proceed to get up, and Dominic and his friend are now ready to go home. They get in the car. They're still kind of in and out of sleep. Makenzie is the one driving. Dominic and his friend eventually end up falling completely asleep, and they just think they're going to make it home. As they're on the way home, Makenzie takes a route home that they never have to come before. And it was like one of those country roads where you hit a curve and you're supposed to slow down and brake a little bit to hit the curb. Well, something in Mackenzie's mind, she decided that she wasn't going to hit the brake. She was going to speed up, actually to 100 miles per hour. Dominic and his friend end up passing away from these injuries, and Makenzie lives. I'll post a picture of the wreck, but it was pretty bad. Like, I mean, car crushed up type of deal. It was so sad, honestly. They end up in the car for a couple of hours. So once police do finally come across the wreck and decide to call for backup and go up to the building and check the wreck, they see 2 deceased and 1 bent over like this, mashed under the steering wheel, whimpering. They say, hey, what's your name? She says, Makenzie. They cut the steering wheel off, go ahead and free her out and transport her instantly to the hospital due to how bad the wreck was. They get her to the hospital, ask her questions, and they're obviously out there investigating while she's at the hospital, and they're just wondering, how is she alive, but the 2 others are dead. So they're at the hospital and they're asking her, like, what happened? How did this wreck occur? And she's telling them, like, I don't know, I don't remember. So they're like, were you guys under the influence of anything? She's like, no, but you don't remember. So this draws a huge red flag for investigators and police. So they tell the doctors and the nurses, oh, you feel me, hold her a little bit longer until we investigate a little bit more. Something is not right. As soon as they go to Dominic's family to tell him that he has been found deceased in the car, they ask, well, where's Makenzie? Because they just had that feeling. The police tells them that Makenzie is in the hospital. His family is like, we know this isn't an accident. So ultimately, police go up to the hospital and they tell Makenzie, you're under arrest for the suspicion of 2 murders. They tell her to get off the car so she can be transferred to another car just to get to the county jail safely. The first thing she says is, can you not break the bracelets? That's on my own.
Doesn't break the bracelet, please.
You got it. I yell and she's asking, I can't wear any of my jewelry. I can't keep any of my jewelry. I can't get my hair extensions out. Like, who's worried about that while they're being booked for double murder at that? Like, you're being booked for murder and you're worried about jewelry and extensions. Fast forward, she ends up going to trial and she's convicted of 2 life sentences. They have to be served concurrently, which means back to back. She also reads a letter off to Dominic's family saying that she's so sorry and she hopes that they can forgive her and know that in her heart she would never do this on purpose. Dom was her soulmate and she loved him so much. The family ultimately ends up forgiving her and says that they hope she can change and find peace. For watching Mystery and Makeup. Here. Bye.